In the Hebrew Scriptures, we read that the Lord told Moses and the children of Israel that on the day after the Sabbath that took place after Passover, the Israelite farmers were to take the first sheaf of their harvest, bring it to the priest, and then the priest would wave that first sheaf of the Israelite farmer before the Lord. And as a result of that, the Lord would accept the harvest of that Israelite farmer, his entire harvest, based on that first sheaf being raised up by the priest and being offered. Remember, it takes place on the day after the Sabbath that came immediately after Passover. So you think about what day was Yeshua lifted up from the grave? What day did he rise from the dead? He rose from the dead on Sunday, right? Which was the first day after the Sabbath. This is the day of first fruits, even as Israel had been celebrating this day for about 1,500 years before Yeshua came. The Israelites were bringing their first sheep of their harvest to the priest. The priest was waving it, and as a result, the whole harvest was accepted. So again, Jesus rises from the dead on this holy day. Now let's take a pause for a second. I want you to think about this. This was a spring harvest day. In the winter, a lot of the ground looks gray and brown and dead. The flowers aren't there, the fruit isn't there. But suddenly in the spring, it's like that dead-looking earth comes to life again. Think of that symbolism now. That dead earth had suddenly come to life. The Israelite farmer took the first sheep of that new harvest, that beautiful new spring harvest, brought it to the priest. The priest waved it before the Lord, and the farmer's entire harvest was accepted. Jesus was dead in his grave, right? Just like the ground is dead during the wintertime. And then on the Feast of First Fruits, he rises from the dead. He presents himself to the Father. And as a result of him rising from the dead and presenting himself to the Father, now his whole harvest is accepted. Who's the rest of the harvest? You and I and everyone that truly puts their faith and trust in him. In the New Testament, Paul actually calls Yeshua the first fruits of those that rise from the dead. So to put it succinctly once again, even as that Israelites' whole harvest was accepted because the first sheaf was waved before the Lord by the priest, so too Yeshua rises from the dead, presents himself to the Father on behalf of all of us, and as a result of that, the second sheaf, the third sheaf, who's the sheaves? Are you and I. The rest of us that are going to rise from the dead because the Father is going to raise us, we will be accepted to the Father because Yeshua presented himself first for us and made us acceptable and holy in the Father's presence through his own blood. Jesus fulfills the Feast of First Fruits from the Torah.